Alrighty, folks. Volume. Oh, there comes another pistol. There we go. Send one more. We'll be here soon. Did I start recording? I did. This is going to be an awesome intro to the video. Okay, so we're still working on revolution and volume. We've spent 2 days talking about this so far. First day, we did the disk method over the x-axis revolution. The next day, which I think was Friday, we did the washer method. So where there's a radius minus a radius to get the area. But then we also did, what if we're not revolving around just the x-axis? So we did that. Today, we're going to look at the disk method revolving around the y-axis. Boom. And again, from that first slide, it'll link to each of those if you want to go look on your own. Otherwise, yeah. Yay! This region. This is the same region that we used for washers. Remember, if I revolve this one around the x-axis, around this way, my cross sections, again, if I cut them perpendicular to the axis I'm rotating around, I'm going to get washers. A circle minus a circle, right? And that's how we get the area of a washer. But what if I want to revolve this region around the y-axis? Well, let's figure that out. To help us out, let's use rep rectangle. They are going to help us out because I'm not going to determine a gender. We're just going to say they're going to help us out. Let's draw them in. So there's rep rectangle. But there's a problem. This rep rectangle, as I move it around, I don't get a bunch of nicely layered up like discs on top of each other. What I get instead are what we call shells. They're a bunch of incredibly thin cylinders all nested inside of each other. That's not what we want. We can talk about the shell method, but it's not a method that we really want to focus on right now. So maybe that's not the way we want to use rep rectangle. But what if we lay rep rectangle down like that? If I revolve rep rectangle in that second way around the y-axis, then I do get a bunch of discs that are just stacked on top of each other. Yay! That looks like what I want to do. So there we go. There is a disc. So as we start revolving around not just horizontal axes, but vertical axes, draw in your rectangle. And when you revolve it, think about kind of mentally revolve it in a couple places and see, do you have a bunch of discs stacked on top of each other, a bunch of washers, or a bunch of shells? We're not doing shells right now. We're only doing discs and washers. So if you get discs, if you get shells, you better turn that bad boy around and get something better. Okay, we're going to either get discs or washers. So let's investigate how this is going to work for a disc, because again, we're using this horizontal one now. Well, the width of this is right here. The width is a y value. So we're going to say the width of it is dy. The height of this disc of the rectangle here is y squared. Because this is y equals square root of x. Since we're doing things in terms of y, I need a function in terms of y. So I could say, and again, I can't just say square root of x. That's in terms of x. I need it in terms of y. So if you solve y equals square root of x for x, you get x equals y squared, which will work for us here. So I can still set this up like this because it's still a disk, right? And a disk is just, again, we're looking at it as a circle, and then we're just doing a whole area of a whole bunch of circles and add them up. So my radius is the height in this case, which is y squared. Now my bounds here are going to be 0 and 2. Because remember, this was square root of x. So this point is 0, 0. This point is 2, 4. Or I'm sorry, 4, 2. That's why we're going from 0 to 2 here, because we're in terms of y. you a moment to make a note. I'll come right back. But that's it. That's all we're doing today. So I want to make sure you have oodles of time to finish up the other 2 assignments if you're not done with them already, and to do this one. Oh, the new, yeah. Here's the new assignment. This is 6.2 part 3, 7 through 10. Look how fast I went.
Okay, so part 1, that was 1 through 4, and then part 2 was that 13, 14, and 27,
Correct.
and then we have the 7 through 10, that's it. right?
That's it so far. We have one more part.
These all have their separate, like,
Submissions.
Is it okay if I just like submit all of it on one account?
I'd rather you break it up. But if you have it all in one document, just resubmit the thing each time.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't been submitting it as I go.
You're just waiting to do all 4 parts.
Yeah.
That's fair. If you're doing,
you know?
if you have all of them on a single sheet of paper, just submit the same sheet of paper each time. That's
But, yeah, I think it's fine.
Based on what 13 was, definitely need more than one.
yeah. So part 2 and part 4 will take a lot more room than part 1 and part 3. Yeah, and like part 2 and part 3 are both only what, 3 apiece. I'm gonna stop recording for a moment.